Yo, do you guys remember the Hercules animated movie? No, not that Hercules. This Hercules. I can't believe I almost forgot about Kevin Sorbo's Hercules and Xena, the animated movie. Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. Join me today as we take a little stroll down memory lane as we discuss Hercules and Xena, the battle for Mount Olympus. Hercules and Xena, The Battle for Mount Olympus was an animated movie produced by Universal Cartoon Studios featuring hit action stars from the 90s, Kevin Sorbo and Lucy Lawless, reprising their roles as Hercules and Xena, both of which starred as said characters in their own live-action series, Xena the Warrior Princess and Hercules the Legendary Journeys. These TV series were extremely popular at the time, Hercules becoming one of the highest-rated television shows in the world in the late to mid-90s. These series followed Hercules, the son of Zeus, and Xena, the warrior princess, on their own respective journeys and stories in this fantasy version of ancient Greece. The animated movie would debut on January 6, 1998, almost a year after the release of Hercules, the animated Disney movie, and in all likeliness, this is most likely why Disney's Hercules overshadowed the Hercules and Xena animated movie. Our story begins with a song from the Sirens singing across the Sea of Time. Through their song, we learn of how long ago Zeus took the Chronos Stone from the Titans, sealing them away. After this, he would meet a mortal woman, and together they had a son, the demigod Hercules, who would defeat a Hydra at an early age, becoming a hero. Now look, I know that Hercules as a story is based off of ancient Greek mythology, but wow, does the opening of this movie, the opening in Hercules and Xena, mirror the opening scenes in the Hercules Disney movie. Fast forward many years later, and we see the hero Hercules battling a giant fish monster with the help of his partner and friend, Iolaus. Hercules manages to defeat the creature, saving the townsfolk who reward him with some fish. Meanwhile, Xena, the warrior princess, and her ally Gabrielle come across a group of satyrs who have been stealing money from local townspeople. Together, the two warrior ladies beat the snot out of the satyrs, reclaiming the money. With the fight over, they are interrupted by a new figure, Ares, the god of war, who is, well, a little obsessed with the warrior princess Xena. Ares asks Xena to stop Hercules from going to the city of Thebes, as there is a trap set for him there. Well, apparently. But Xena refuses, not trusting this manipulative god. Meanwhile, Hercules is in the city of Thebes, at his mother's house, helping plow the fields. Suddenly, a strange gust of wind picks up as the sky begins to darken. Suddenly, the clouds part as a man riding a flying chariot descends from the skies. This is Hercules' father, the god Zeus, who takes Hercules' mother, flying back to Mount Olympus, to Hercules' dismay, who believes that his immortal father is trying to steal his mother from him. Zeus blapping Hercules with a lightning bolt for good measure as he falls to the ground. Hercules, angered by the brazen actions of his father, wants to travel to Mount Olympus to save his mother from being kidnapped. However, his friend Iolaus chimes in saying that, well, maybe she wants to be kidnapped. Maybe she wanted to go with him, pissing Hercules off, who, well, has a few daddy issues.
What do you mean by that?
On Olympus, Zeus is chastising his son Ares, telling him his job was to stop Hercules from being in Thebes when he went to go get his mother. Suddenly, Zeus's wife Hera, the goddess, arrives, obviously a little peeved about Zeus, well, you know, having multiple wives, all that, bringing a mortal woman to Mount Olympus, you know the drill. Just normal Zeus things, am I right? The two get into an argument, Hera making a threatening remark about how long Zeus will remain king of the gods. As she leaves, we see that the gods' prized item, the Chronos Stone, has gone missing. And the next thing we see that Hercules' mother is alive and safe in a small micro version of the palace. We see that Hercules' mother has been shrunk down to miniature size, and apparently she's just living in this palace like some kind of weird little doll. Meanwhile, back in Thebes, Hercules is planning on scaling Mount Olympus when suddenly the ground begins to quake. Buildings begin to crumble as a massive crater begins to open in the earth. Flashback to Mount Olympus, where we see to Zeus' horror that he realizes the Chronos Stone has gone missing. We know it is now in the possession of Hera, who is causing said destruction down on Thebes. Little to our hero's knowledge, but Hera has just released the ancient Titans from their prison in Tartarus. Back down in Thebes, Xena is kicking butt while Hercules manages to rescue a small child from the pit, when suddenly arising from the depths is a tall, horrible creature seemingly made of wood and vines. This is one of the Titans who tells Hercules to let him pass peacefully as his quarrel is with the gods of Olympus, who imprisoned him. To the audience's surprise, Hercules obliges as he lets the Titan pass. Meanwhile, across the world, we see that many other different elemental Titans have been released from their prison.
Water. Earth. Fire. Air.
You know, I just have one thing to say about these Titans and their representation in, well, this animated movie. Why did they have to be hot? Meanwhile, on Mount Olympus, the gods prepare for war, though without the power of the Chronos Stone, their victory is far from certain. Needing aid, the gods attempt to recruit both Hercules and Xena to their cause. Hercules obviously refusing his sister Aphrodite as he hates his father, while Artemis and Ares try a, well, different method, transforming Xena's companion Gabrielle into a giant eagle, forcing her to come to the gods for aid in order to transform her back. The Titans, being led by Hera with the Chronos Stone, march on Mount Olympus. The gods attempt to put up a fight, but are easily overwhelmed by the might of the Titans and the Chronos Stone. In the chaos, Hercules and Xena arrive, Hercules grabbing his mother and fleeing, refusing to aid the gods, who all flee at the might of the Titans. Back in Hercules' home, his mother is scolding him for not helping his family on Olympus, when suddenly we hear the voice of Zeus. The Olympians have arrived to Hercules' home, but Hera has used the power of the Chronos Stone to hilariously transform them all into animals. Yo, is that a wall outlet in Hercules' home? Oh yeah, and did I mention that like the Disney Hercules movie, this movie also has musical numbers? As we pan back to the ruins of Olympus, where the Titans treat us to a amazing song about just how awesome they are.
Boom, shakalaka, laka, boom, shakalaka, laka, boom, boom. Oh yeah.
God, this shit was catchy. But while we see the Titans have won, they are not content with just serving Hera. Back down to Thebes, we get another musical number with Xena singing about her relationship with her now bird friend, Gabrielle. With new perspective, Xena and Hercules decide to attack Mount Olympus and regain the Chronos Stone to save the world. Back on Mount Olympus, Hera hears the classic battle cry of Xena. I guess the art of surprise is out the window. She probably rolled a nat 1 on stealth. Hearing this, Hera decides to use the power of the stone to evolve her new Pokemon, transforming them into new Digi-Evolution versions of themselves. Hera, unfortunately though, forgot to collect all 8 gym badges, so her new overlevel Pokemon refused to obey her commands, snatching the Chronos Stone from her and shrinking her down to tiny size. Suddenly, our heroes arrive and begin kicking butt. No, for real, the number of flying kicks that are used in these scenes is actually hilarious. Like, guys, use a different move. What is this, Street Fighter spam tactics? However, despite all odds, the flying kick spammers managed to overwhelm their newly evolved foes. Hercules reopening the pits of Tartarus as Xena flying kicks them into the pit. Hercules re-stealing the Titans away. With the Titans defeated and the gods restored and having seemingly learned their lesson, peace returns to the world as Hercules allows Zeus to take his mother willingly to Mount Olympus, the two having seemingly restored their relationship, well, somewhat, as Hercules and Xena walk off into the sunset to continue their adventure on their respective live-action shows. And yes, this was the story of Hercules and Xena: The Battle for Mount Olympus, the other Hercules animated movie from the 90s. This movie kind of holds a sacred place for me in my heart, my mind, and my childhood, as for some reason my family actually owned this movie, so I ended up binge watching it over and over and over again on our VHS, for who knows how many times as a young child. But even after like 20 years since the last time I watched this movie, I still remember like almost every single line. Overall, the Hercules and Xena animated movie wasn't a bad movie, but generally just in every way, it was overshadowed by Disney's Hercules movie. The two movies having kind of wildly similar plots, you know, the whole uprising of Titans thing. I will say though that for being well over 20 years old, the animations in Hercules and Xena still hold up somewhat. They aren't amazing by any means. Generally, there's just a lack of background animation, most likely due to budget, but there's still many quality scenes of animation scattered throughout the film, and I won't even lie to you, this Titan musical number is easily my favorite scene of the entire movie. Let me know in the comments down below, do you remember Hercules and Xena: The Battle for Mount Olympus? As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video or learned something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoyed this trip down nostalgia and memory lane, be sure to click one of the many other videos on screen now from a similar nostalgia series. And as always, guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe out there. Until next time, peace, love, adu.
Wasn't supposed to happen, so much talk around us. We became numb to the yapping. It was like 05, got my license to drive. Picked you up in my pop's car, went for a ride. Couldn't know